Hello and welcome to Ren's Wasteland Camp Reviews and Dumpster Fires of the Commonwealth. I obviously cannot make a video on that subject today, so instead I'm going to make a video on my feelings about the pit. I will add in some material, hopefully from a playthrough that I did with a friend of mine where we were going through the pit and trying to get as much information and learn the area as much as possible. Um, Ever since the pit dropped, this has been a very common occurrence to the point where I have friends that just simply cannot log into the game for various points during their day. Or if they do log in and they happen to get into a pit instance environment, they crash out immediately and have to log back into it. This is not uncommon, as far as I can tell, from other internet presenters on Fallout 76. It is not currently repaired by the hot fixes they've been putting out. There's also been issues where you'll go into an instance of the pit and you'll be doing a mission and say you happen to kill everything in the area faster than the NPC that you're escorting can register it. Um, then all of a sudden, well, he doesn't move. He just stays there. He freezes up. That instance locks up. You have to leave, restart that section again. Luckily, they have it set to where you can do that without really losing any progress. You still lose the ammo and whatever chems you used and energy if you're wearing power armor to get there. But luckily, they have it set up to be that uh, user friendly. And if you're really lucky, the people on your team have a mic involved and they can actually coordinate with you so that you don't all get jacked up and screwed over by that situation. Now, the problem with 76 is I personally, the reason why I started making these videos is I personally am bored to hell with this game at this point. I started making videos because the only thing that really tends to make me want to play it is starting a new character, going back and running through the storyline, trying to goof around and build interesting houses and interesting locations, look for places that I've never built before, try and attempt to build things that I've never built before, learn new techniques and that kind of stuff as I'm playing this game. Now, the issue that I have with that is the developers tend to remove little things that help you as a builder in this game from time to time. Like they made it so at one point you couldn't flip two walls and make double-sided walls, or they made it so that you couldn't convert one roof type into another roof type unless you have another roof type that you're using. So they have gone through, and I'm not saying they're doing it deliberately. It's more like they're fixing small bugs as they are allowed to do so. Because in all honesty, this game as a committee kind of sucks, and I'll explain why. The developers here are bound by whatever rules the company's corporate structure allows them to do in this game. Now, by that I mean they can only implement stories at a certain point. They can only go in and edit quests at a certain point. They can only go in and make repairs to certain things, bugs, all this other stuff at a certain point whenever it's allowed by the people that are in charge. Because there are bugs literally that have been in this game since day one that persist today. They still exist that could have been fixed in less than 10 minutes with anybody with a creation kit experience. Why do I say that? Well, because I have creation kit experience and because TrainWiz, one of the modders for Fallout 4, literally built a quest in less than 8 hours, I think, if I remember right. Had the first quest come out as soon as the creation kit became available for Fallout 4. That was a true creation kit mod. So it is, I'm not saying it is easy to repair these things for people with no experience. What I'm going to say is, if you have the experience and you work in the creation kit on a regular basis, this should be a no-brainer. There are hackers that have hacked this game, hacked in weapons, hacked in different codes, script monkeys, all this other crap whenever Nuclear Winter was going on, so they could cheat the game to win prizes and influence people, I suppose. But the truth is that all of the repairs, all of the things that you want in this game to be fixed, anything that you want in this game that's a basic developmental item has to go through a committee on the end of Bethesda. So that means that all the stuff that you want, all the stuff that should be here, we're 4 years into this game at this point, practically, if not 4 years by the time you guys see this or more. The content isn't here, just so you know. The storyline isn't here. The storyline that you've got is the same one that was implemented originally with text-based questing. Developmental-wise, this is not an MMO. It should be, but it's not. They have stripped things from this game that people really liked and really loved. Basically, they have done it for financial reasons, obviously, and also because they can make more money making stuff for the Atomic Shop than they can for actually making content for this game. At this point, me personally, I would pay them $40 to go ahead and make an expansion like adding Nuclear Winter in, and the only people that could play it are the people that paid $40. As long as it was maintained, I would totally do that. I could totally see a lot of other people doing that because at this point this game needs material. They're not Their player base is not growing as fast or at all in some cases, other than when new material comes out for it. So why don't you make new material that's actually good? That's what I don't understand. And the best way I know to say that is because it's all on committee. The committee won't allow it, so therefore it's not being made. Or if it is being made, it's being hoarded in the back room somewhere while these guys are trying to figure out if it's going to actually work on the servers. Because the biggest issue this game has is its servers, the way the servers function, the way your game functions. You have most of the game on your hard drive. Okay? I don't know if you realize that, but most of the game is on your drive. The functionality and interactivity that you have on the servers in the regions and everything else, that is controlled by the servers, that is controlled by Bethesda or ZeniMax or Amazon or Microsoft or whoever has control over this game at this point. The Austin studio has a little bit. I know they're farming out missions to different studios to try and get more content made. But the problem is it's not that they can't make the content. In all honesty, things like the pit here that came out, you put 12 people on it, you tell them to build this area, you could probably have it in a little bit under a month. Yeah, I said it, a little under a month. The problem is they have no real direction, they have no real attention to detail, they are not pushing the limits of what they have or what they're capable of doing. They are standing on their laurels. They are trying desperately to get Starfield out so that you will buy their next game and funnel money into a developer that really doesn't deserve it at this point. It has been so long since Skyrim came out that they continue to pump out anniversary editions and remastered copies and everything else, and then all they ever do is release one measly patch and break the game for other people to be able to play it. This game is no different than that. Every time they release a patch for this game, 90% of the time whenever they roll back information from, like, let's say whenever Meat Week occurs, they put out a patch that has Meat Week active, they turn it on, The reason why they're having issues is because they did a crappy job of implementing it to begin with. That's why. Not because it's a bad idea, not because it's a bad time, not because it doesn't work the way they want it to. It's because they didn't design it well to begin with. They designed it crappy. Just like everything else they do. They do it half-assed as much as humanly possible. The difference is you're used to seeing it with their role-playing games like Skyrim and Fallout 4 and all these other games that have came out over the years because modders go in and fix their shit. This game is the one game, 76, that doesn't get fixed by modders. It's the one that modders can build mods for it. You can get a different map. You can get different lighting. You can get different textures. You can get a mod that'll give you ceilings on your roofs so you don't have to see the trusses on the interior. For instance, you know what that is? That's a texture mod. That's 5 minutes work for an actual designer. Because all they've got to do is apply a texture path. So, because they have tools that modders don't, because it's their engine, they literally can go in and do whatever they want with it. The problem is they're not allowed. They can't. You can't fix stupid, and that's what this game is at this point. It has so much stupid encoded into it that it is breaking my heart to say this. I have money tied up in this game. I really love it. It is one of the best games that I've played. It has one of the better interactive segments as far as controller support and general communities. I've made a lot of friends playing this game. Hell, I'm on Discord communities because of this game. I have friends all over the world because of this game, and I honestly do not understand why, even with just one studio running it, it should be easier with just one studio running it, but no, let's be honest. It's the committee bullshit. It's the fact that they're not allowed to do certain things because, well, Bethesda doesn't want them to. Bethesda would rather issue you a new skin every month that for a suit of power armor than give you a suit of power armor. You know the difference between the two? Like two buttons. Two buttons in the creation kit. That's it. That's all. Yep. Pretty damn pathetic, isn't it? So, you tell me, why, and I would like to honestly know. I'm setting this, I'm doing this, and I hope people share this. I honestly do, because I do not understand why they can't get their act together. It is not a big deal to ask. We pay money every month for this. I'm a Fallout First member. I've owned this game since it first came out. I played in the time whenever there were no NPCs. I can't understand how you can add, what, 300 NPCs to a game? More than that, really. But you can't keep more than 24 players on at a time. You know why that works that way? Simple. They don't have the server support to actually do it. The game isn't server stable at larger numbers. Well, that's a load of crap too, because Nuclear Winter had 50 players in it. 50 on average. I played a lot of Nuclear Winter. I beat every single freaking category in it. I even beat hackers. Hell, it was fun to hunt them after a while because you know what? You got to do something to keep yourself entertained. So, let's go ahead and just say this one more time. PvP in this game is not the problem. It really isn't. There's very few people that participate in it. Those that do participate in it knowingly and understand what is and what is not acceptable by other players that do that. They kind of have their own code of conduct, if that makes any sense. Now, the problem with the game in general is that it is innately unstable, as this shows, because I've been going at this for, well, I'm not exactly sure how long this recording is at this point, but They have basically broken something that is fundamentally easy to fix. They're not smart enough to fix it on their own because they're not allowed to. Now, let me clarify that. They're not smart enough, meaning they can't just go in and do it because the company has basically a structure that impedes them from actively doing anything like that. Where a modder can put out a mod and you contact them and within 20 minutes they can recompile their mod and place it back out. You can't do that with this game because of the huge sizes of the files that they send out to you every time they do an update. 20 gigs for this bullshit. I mean, granted, if you're sending out new materials, new textures, and everything that aren't in the game, I can see that, but you're not. Some of them are, but most of them aren't. So why the large file size? Well, the large file size lets them cover up mistakes. What is it? What do I mean by that? Well, if you fix the files as you go along, and if something breaks, then the large file size, well, we can say, well, we accidentally put in the wrong code in this and blah, blah, blah. When what they're doing is they're overriding sections of the game they don't actually need to, but they're not smart enough to figure out how to just give you the sections that you need. They can do it on PC fairly easy. It's kind of the way DLC works. They're just not doing it the way that they should be, meaning they're not breaking it down into small enough segments. They're also not doing it in a way that's sensible, meaning they should be doing a weekly update on this game where they go through and do bug fixes, add features, add uh, content like, say for instance the wolf horde event in the forest region where you're going out and you're trying to kill the 3 wolves. You're guaranteed 3 legendaries. Why not change that to if the character's above level 50, they're not 1-star legendaries. They can be anywhere from 1 to 3 stars. Or if you go and you're doing that event, you have the chance of like the sheep squatch showing up to try and kill you. Or if you're over level 50. I mean, there's like a ton of little things that they could do that would improve this game, improve its longevity. There are areas that they have made filled with NPCs that are the stupidest areas to have made filled with NPCs in all honesty, because they have totally wrecked some of their own better workshops that they had in this game. For instance, Foundation's workshop was the best one in the game in my opinion, and it was hardly ever taken by any players because most players didn't want to actively defend or fight over it. Although I will admit I had a lot of fun doing it myself whenever I was doing that kind of crap because hey, that's what they were for. And it had a nice tower that you could run up and booby trap the hell out of whenever you were fighting people. They don't have games like this game does not have a steady flow of material coming out for it, and it doesn't make any sense. The It's like they don't have a writer that's in charge. They don't have somebody that's allowed to actively make decisions. Everything is done through committee. And when the committee is tied up making another game several states away, or even another country away in some cases, what are you going to do except watch it all burn to the freaking ground? There, that's my rant for the day. Now I'm going to try and intermix in a few little clips of the pit at the end of this. If you don't see any, well, that's because, in all honesty, I don't care. I'm at that point with the pit. I honestly am going to do it once a week, get the points that I need to get the crap that I want, or have it dropped to me in the pit. I am not going to do it multiple times unless there's some drastic score reason to do so. And I am bloody tired of all this bullcrap. I'm going to wind up making videos about camps. I will make fun of camps. I will try and help people that see these videos rebuild camps if they want, if they're there and they're actively talking to me. If they're not actively talking to me, well, I'm sorry. It's Not my fault that you can't invest like $15 in a mic. Anyway, this has been Ren from Ren's Wasteland Camp Reviews / Dumpster Fires of the Commonwealth. I am sorry that I did not review camps in this episode. I will try and get back to that. This is probably going to be listed as a rant, and probably going to be given its own little category, and probably going to happen again sometime in the future. Because I have a lot of stuff I can rant and rave about. And in all honesty, this is kind of cathartic. It lets me get this out of my system without really pestering anybody or forcing someone to listen to it. If you want to listen to it, it's there. If you don't, I totally understand. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Subscribe, watch for more videos, and I just realized this thing's probably going to be about 25 minutes long, so have a nice day.